Ah, my friend. You've returned to me again. I hear that a great tragedy is happening on your world. Here in the sprawl, though, I mean, we never leave our houses anyway. And we don't have to worry about things getting worse, because the time is always 0 o'clock. There is no tomorrow. Nothing ever changes. Tonight, I've been playing a video game called Treachery in Beatdown City. And what we're going to do today is play more of it. This is, sort of not a very reasonable request, I think, on behalf of CT Punk here. It's sort of an aged trope in video games. There's going to be a combat sequence, so there has to be, there's a person who's asking you for a hand, but they're going to fight you. So they do this thing where they're like, I deserve your money for some reason. Help me out, and if you don't, we're gonna fight. And I expect that's what's happening here. Yeah, we're about to... Well, they're gonna try to mug me, I think. I have not fought with this character Brad before. I only just received Brad. You'll see what this game is like in a moment. Graphically and sort of, I don't know, textually, nominally, it's a lot like those games Double Dragon, those arcade fighting games. This guy is a grappler. Right, and the spiky-haired CT punks all are extremely weak to grappling and strong to other kinds of attacks. So although it looks like Double Dragon, you don't actually play it like an action game. Okay. It's mostly done in menus, like Dragon Warrior or something like that, and it's all built out of these combos. And you just want to get real close to them. Shit. It costs you to turn around, but if you turn around, like I'm fucking up here, basically. I don't have a lot of FP, and I need to wait to get more of that, and I need to make sure that I actually get this person when I grapple them. I have a lot of hit points, so I can just choose Brace and just kind of get smoked a bit while I stay within range of them. And now I can maybe... I really want to do this body slam move. And I don't have quite enough FP. You can also just do these melee attacks. You can try and build up. But this character's really sneaky. Oof. I need about 40, I think. Okay. Alright, maybe just simpler ones. What? Ah. Oof. So it's really this like kind of tricky balance between your FP, which you can kind of accumulate through strikes, and then your action points, which are a little bit more complicated. You can recharge that really fast in certain situations, like through comboing. You can activate combo mode. And with the previous character, it was a little bit easier to kind of work all of that out. She had a little bit more range, I think. I mean, this game looks beautiful. That's one thing about it. Look at this art. This looks amazing. It's one of those things that is sort of a tribute to the overall aesthetic style of, again, that Dragon Warrior era video game. But then, of course, it's a little bit too... the sprites are a little bit too big to have actually been like this. So they're kind of adding detail, but doing the same style. It's kind of in the spirit of it, but we couldn't really say that there's another game that looks like this. It's kind of its own thing. The dithering around her cheeks is really nice. It's like a limited color palette, but you're getting a lot out of it. I really like the blue hair. It's got like JRPG hair, which is an interesting contrast to the almost Punch-Out looking. That's another probably big reference point for this game. Mike Tyson, and then later like Mr. Dream's Punch-Out. This game is sort of a parody or a pop culture, a stew of like thinly veiled references that kind of make an alternate history, like a loose parody of events. So President Obama looks exactly like Barack Obama, of course, but it's not him, you know? The city map puts us at a different scale of navigation. We're looking, like, there's a whole other sprite set, right, for looking down on Brad from here. This is like, you'd see this in Ninja Turtles for NES or something like that. This general style of like buildings and the way you walk around. There is indeed a city map in Ninja Turtles that I think, as I recall, sort of resembles this. Right, really countery enemies. The point is to grapple them. Oh, counters. Okay. You can kind of break the mailbox. Is a counter available here? Oh, good. It's not like... the don't button mash thing is kind of an important part of this game's whole aesthetic. You're really not asked to push something at the correct time. It's kind of its response. Like, it's useless to just hit them over and over again. but you also don't have to worry about learning extremely difficult timing intervals. You're kind of just invited to choose what to do at key decision points. Like when somebody's hitting you, you don't actually have to know all of the ways to do a counter, like hit the X button at exactly the right moment. Just kind of asks, hey, do you want to counter it? And then it kind of gives you this more strategy game layer. So I guess I can just hit them now with a bunch of shit. So this person's a grappler, they keep telling me. Oof. Alright, well just give me the, yeah, the elbow. Oof. Could I... Oof. Man, fuck this guy. Alright. Listen, friend. You can eat shit. Okay, right. When combo activates, you're kind of invited to just keep doing more moves. It recharges your action really fast, I believe, when you're in combo. So you're kind of... You can... If I were better at this, I would be able to string like 3 or 4 combos together and end that really, really quickly. There's so many different resolutions of character portrait, and that's interesting to me. Like, not only do we have Brad on the screen there, who we're fighting with, but there's the portrait at the top left, which is like, sort of looks like Wolverine or something. And then over on the right is a even half size of that close-up portrait. And they have to do the pixel art at all of these like different scales. So it's really like a visual feast in this regard, right? You get to see this like so many different types of pixel faces. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. So hit them a bit and then grapple them for finishing. Alright. Fine. Well... Why can't I just punch him? It seems like I'm being prevented from punching this person. Ah. Okay. Do I need to do this? Okay. I need... Ooh, I'm dead now. That's interesting. So... Oh, my hit points are so low to begin with, and that's a pretty big problem. I guess I should figure out if there's any way to make those go up. There's definitely this. So that's like doing me a little bit of good. But ultimately what I need to figure out is how do I not get killed? I don't know. I might need to like figure out how to go back and get more hit points for this. I guess with the one action point, I can wait for him to hit me, and for some reason I don't have counter right now. Maybe it's because I'm not facing him. Let's see if there's another option. Yeah. I gotta figure out some way to not have garbage hit points. I don't know. Doesn't seem like there's a way. And that's kind of interesting. What if I just quit? That's not the menu. This is the menu. Nah. I guess I could just exit to desktop, but okay, here we are. I can just spend some healing items. So now we're getting more of, getting a Demon Souls vibe. I just kind of have to, I surely have to target one of these characters first and focus them. And it probably makes sense to target the buffer character, which is Heather B. Yeah, so I need to figure out how to quickly kill Heather B. Right, she doesn't have a lot of hit points. She only has 40 left. So just a couple more hits. I really need to how do I get action points? Okay. Alright, now it's a fair fight at least. And I can counter now, for some reason. I'm still not exactly certain how the action point economy works. I guess maybe I spend it to do those strikes, those little hits. That would be, maybe that's my problem at the moment. Oh, I have a lot of this. Okay, so perhaps let's test it. Ooh, block failed. Give me a break. Maybe it's just walking away from them gives you action. Maybe it's supposed to kind of... This person's hit points are still kind of high, so maybe I should just... Ooh, I see. Let's, sure, and then there. Damn it. You gotta make sure that your distance intervals are proper. That is one thing about this game. It's not so forgiving about that. So if I just go over here, then I can kind of regroup. And it does indeed cost me 1 point to just hit him. So it's not really a very good idea to do that. A lot of the time, it seems like. Oh, I can't afford to do the uppercut that I'd want. Well, oof. Combo mode. Gotta get to do combo mode. Grappling. Let's try it. You might just counter it. No? Okay. Yeah, that's kind of how you're supposed to do it, I think. Walk away a little bit, and then get your 3 pips into your action meter. That's right, the person who's trying to sell you a CD. You ever had somebody sell you a hip-hop CD on public transit? I've had that experience. It's like, I don't even think I listened to it after I bought that from him. He's spreading his raps. Band Cloud. Huh. Ain't nobody making money on streaming services. It's a very pertinent point. That's what's kind of interesting about this game, right? It has this veneer of... It's a beat 'em up, but there's like some pretty sharp stuff. This guy's just doing direct sale because platforms are shitty. Like, I think about doing that with video games all the time, you know? Put them on a USB drive and sell them at the local event. Huh. Brad's got no money. Oh. Won't take no for an answer. I guess what, like, Beatdown City is sort of a magical place where every slight has to be answered with violence. It's just kind of the way of things. It's like, yeah, you know, we have a disagreement that kind of doesn't matter, but we're gonna fight. Yeah. Right, you gotta use strikes. So like, yeah. This is, oh, I gotta figure out that combo. Well. Okay. He's weak. Let's just try the old, Ooh, shit. Counter. Okay. Damn it, don't... I gotta stop using that little hit. Well, I guess, you know, I could just pop him down to 0 HP easily enough anyway. I do want the satisfaction, though, of, like, wrecking this person. Yeah. That's satisfying. Oh. CT Punk. Am I in grapple range? This person, I believe, doesn't have the fancy counter stuff, so I think I can just, like, guess he counters well enough. Spend some HP. Right, it gives you the balloon sound to let you know that you have 3 action points again. Yeah, that's what you want. You want that, like... But I don't even need that to finish this guy. I kind of want to try this uppercut thing anyway, so... It's just like... It's really countery, I guess. Yeah. I would have liked to, but... You're not gonna get him with those strikes, not this CT Punk... Sorry, yeah, CT Punk character. Yeah, let's just, like, do a counter. Counter only gets, like, one of their combo moves out of the way, so they kind of can still... You can't just keep blocking them, they'll get through to you eventually. Let's just, like, try an uppercut for no reason. Oh, shit. Okay. simple. You just do grapple stuff. Yeah. And collect these things after the fight's over. I don't think it matters which side of the screen you walk off, but it's nice that you can choose. It's a very nice looking, you know, hand pointing you. These buildings, you would see this sort of scale in an NES game. Spider-Man would have these sorts of things. It's kind of just this comedic sequence of like series of disagreements in which Brad or Santiago kind of end up having to beat the shit out of people, and along the way you kind of get a lot of jabs at you know, usually punching up at things about society that are bullshit. And of course that's something I appreciate. Another character, alright. Bruce. You gain FP from using these. Oh. So, how much do I gain? Like, what does it mean to have gained it? I see. You start it, and then on the next strike, you maybe have some more FP to spend. In this case, it's like whatever. Alright. So what we would kind of try then is like this. And then right away, we kind of don't quite have enough FP, but we could try like just the big one. Yeah. Okay. You can't click too early. You gotta wait for that second bloop, or else you'll get punished a little bit. So there's like a little bit of a timing element. There's a patience. This game's not about reflex, but it's very much about patience. Okay, but I have combo mode, so I can just kind of do this right away. No. Okay. Can I just like again? Yeah. He does struggle a bit to get that like FP up, but okay, that works. Hidden techniques. Oh. Sort of a standby from the arcade era, a way to add replayability, I think. You know, before you had save game, like a battery in the cartridge, and then later all of these like various solid state solutions, hard disks, memory cards. You couldn't just give somebody like a level and okay, your level goes up. And that's how you make the game playable for 60 hours, because there's like level 1 through 90. At arcade you had to start from the beginning every time. The code thing wasn't very good. So like having hidden stuff It's kind of like a way to add these weird layers of the third or fourth time or 20th time you play it, you might find something. It sort of makes a lot of sense to bury hidden features in an arcade cabinet or something that just doesn't have like memory and can't have a saved game. Makes sense financially. I'm trying to get down into there, but it doesn't. I'm just going back and forth for no reason, it looks like. The good stuff, man. Huh. That's okay. You know, senseless violence is sort of the name of the game in this part of town. Counters. They can't be countered past the first hit. Well, okay, but haha. Wanna get that third one. Why do I want the third one? I can just do the wing strikes. Well, maybe I can use these wing punches thing to reduce his counter percent. Okay. I wonder, can I just grapple this person? Oh wow, Bruce has no grapple. Okay. High-priced kick. Yeah, we should try that. I can't afford it. Okay, what if we do that? Cool. And then at this point, I think we can just kinda, yeah, easy. Ah, these storefronts. Look at these storefronts. Mundane existence, the sign says, which is pretty astute. There are places in my city like this, Vancouver. Lisa. Mutual admiration for each other's. Like, these people, I guess, are not going to physically fight. They just verbally spar. Because I guess, you know, they just have a distaste for the assholes they see around them and don't regard each other as such. Chicken small. I protest to the, you know, give me a meat-free option. Don't necessarily want to eat chicken. I just want to get hit points. Give me like it's like a pasta or something, you know? Tomato, basil. Oh, okay, moves have cooldowns. It's like a weird thing. It's just like every day, I guess, just walking around, these people have to beat the shit out of CT Punk. Right, yeah, obnoxious. Combo mode increases accuracy. Okay. Okay, right. If you hit him with the wing strikes and then you counter, it sort of leaves him off balance enough that it knocks him over. Wing strikes is probably good as an opener because it only costs one action point, but it probably puts you in combo mode real quick. Counter is maybe on cooldown. That's maybe why I can't use it right now. It's unfortunate. Alright, alright. Do simple stuff. Let's do... crap. Maybe if... I need to get the high-priced kick to actually finish this person. They're almost dead, whatever. Another couple of these. But it probably would have been smarter to try to save up for that big finisher move. This person, like could I just do it right now? Does that make sense? I think probably not, because they would easily be able to spend a counter. So you kind of have to like... Okay, if I take it, then I can maybe do this right away. I would still sort of... Oh, yeah, just enough. And then... Right, you get like bonuses to your FP for doing that, and that allows you to just kind of maybe just do it again, you know? Oh, that's why there's a cooldown. This is part of their button mash, their no button mash aesthetic, right? It's like, it's not gonna do some weird complicated thing like Street Fighter where if you use the same move again it like gradually reduces its like damage value or whatever. It's just kind of like, no, you used that move already. Everybody wants to see you use, like, do something else, Bruce, just do something else. So we'll try it. Right, but now we have access again, so... Well, nice. And that again sets us up really well, actually, to just kind of, yeah, pummel the crap out of this person. There you go. Nice. You know, don't ask questions about who it is that we're beating the shit out of. It's not... I am curious. I would like to ask questions. I hope that I get to know these characters a little better. Professional wrestling is a big reference point for this sort of thing, this game. And I'm hoping that these villain characters kind of get fleshed out to the same degree that wrestling heels do. Cola, okay. That's good. I'm drinking cola right now. Oh, Heather. Oh. That face. You got jokes, fam. Bruce is he really likes provoking people so that he can fight them. It's just a super important thing for Bruce. Again, I need to focus the healer, probably. Oh, and maybe I can get 2 for 1. Maybe that's an important thing for this. Yeah. And then I can spend a counter. I'm on cooldown for that kick still, but I can soften with Wing Punch, and then do the strikes. The strikes might just be equivalent to Wing Punch in terms of kind of being resistant to blocking and all of that. I need to make sure that I kill this person. Yeah. That's good. Oh, right. It takes a second for the FP to kick in. You sort of, again, it kind of wants you to give it a little space before you go in again. And at this point, we kind of have, we don't have the big finisher, so we're just gonna like do a lot of damage. And if I can keep the combo mode going, then that's probably good too. Yeah, right. And then after I get all those bonuses back, you know, once again. Oh, he's already done. It's nice that it lets you finish your combo even after they hit 0. You can like overkill them. Another, I think, kind of tribute, or you know, it's in conversation with those old games. Craig B's gallery. Yeah, you know, galleries open up in these neighborhoods. It's definitely true in Vancouver's downtown east side, for example. We held an art show there once, and a beatdown occurred in front of us, and it very much resembled this game, so there you have it. Huh. Oh. A confluence of idiots. Oh, okay, that's your theory, Bruce. Can you think more structurally, my friend? Oh man, alright. So you got a bunch of shoes, there's some city level corruption. Oh, he likes his sneakers. Okay, Bruce. Oh, we're going to City Hall. Oh, interesting. We're going to get involved in the municipal politics. Probably with some beatdowns, I would think. That's sort of the order of the day here in Beatdown City. Excuse me for one moment, my friend. Okay. Hi, I'm back. I wonder if I can just choose characters at some point. Look in the top left. There's that's the small level portrait, right? You go up, you add 2 times the width, 2 times the height, you get 4 times the pixels. That's your like sort of medium, or I don't know, small medium portrait. And there's a bigger one still for the combat HUD, and then there's the big one for cutscenes. There's this one in the Ninja Turtles map. We get to see Bruce in so many different forms. Oh, I can totally just... Cool. Pardon me. I realize I'm probably popping a whole bunch because I don't have the filter set up. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't even read that. It's a good idea to switch up your fighters in order to... Oh, right, yeah. Use different characters. Everybody in town's acting like out of sorts, maybe. This is sort of, yeah, zombie-ish. Certainly an uncanny look to these characters. Emily here. Okay, so she's not happy because the subways are shut down. Right, she's talking about like the inconvenience because public transit's not working in the city. I mean, that's a reality that I know your world is facing, my friend. Okay, there's like a sense of gentrification, perhaps, in East Fulton. We'll see if we hear the word gentrification. Well, it doesn't want to go to Rat Race Park, but it is sketchy. I mean, considering the rate at which like physical violence occurs. Oh, there you go. Gentrifier app. Okay, cool. But like, you know, of course the physical conflict that we're seeing here is not exactly meant to be taken as text. It's more of like it's representative of some... It's just heightened from kind of a disagreement. It's like a fantasy along the lines of that person that you see in the world and make some snap judgment about. Like, what if they really were just that asshole that you judge them to be? And like, you can just, without consequence, you know, throw your cotton bag down and just like slam that person in the mouth and be justified in doing so. You know, that's an interesting kind of fantasy. Oh. Okay, so... Right, Lisa here is more like kinda... a little bit like Bruce. She's a bit more balanced. She does some grapple. But I believe... I'm betting that like all of this stuff is probably similar. No? Okay. I guess it's just like kind of a fun... Maybe if I bruise her legs. I mean, it doesn't even seem like that person was fighting me, but I injured her. Okay, Rhonda C. We can all counter now, so that move worked pretty great. And then we're just trying to get... maybe the uppercut maybe has to be... Oh, cooldown. Okay. So the combo mode lets me get my FP back a little bit, get my action points back a little bit faster. Oh, I see. The cooldowns are by action, not by time. Ah, that's cool. Huh. So to get something off cooldown, you just kind of have to do something else, like once or twice. I wonder if, does that mean though that you can do like jab jab? Does that count as doing two things? I don't think it does. I think action must mean there's some gate there that kind of prevents you from doing that. Let's just do it then. Uppercut. Ronda C. So a 2 action cooldown. So if I jab and then jab, oh, I probably could do it, but I don't have the FP. So that's actually the limiting factor for me in just continuing to do that uppercut like Little Mac over and over. But maybe there's a way to kind of space it out a little bit more so that I can just more consistently kind of do the optimal combo. Malpo Storm and games like, oh, it's Terrible Cop. You know, I was talking about Lisa's hair. Oh god, these faces. They're like... I mean, so we're definitely talking about a specific thing. Well, hey, I'm not the expert about this, but the weird thing about wanting to like touch somebody's hair, that it's like a really intimate thing and you don't know them that well, but if somebody has like kinky hair and you want, you know, we've read lots of stories along those lines. It's a thing for people of color. And this cop is just the worst cop, right? Any excuse to persecute Lisa, I think basically on account of Lisa's race. Or just almost, maybe just because Lisa's so, like, anti-authoritarian. The whole police, in the fiction of this game, the whole police department was mysteriously shut down, and it's kind of like mayhem is taking place. I don't know if it's because the police department was shut down. Not really, probably. I don't think that would match the politics of this game. The police were probably inept, I would think, prior to them shutting down. This police officer was sort of somebody who just, you know, does terrible things, gets away with it. Everything's recording okay. Just checking things out. I didn't read the text. Something about a grudge fight. So, it's always tricky to get like enough FP to do anything cool. Right, and if you don't land the counter, then you get in a bit of trouble. But here, we definitely have an opportunity to put a lot of damage on them both. We should again focus on Heather B first. She's gonna buff this shitty cop. But, hey. Two of these terrible people with one stone, right? Oh, alright. Higher damage, lower accuracy. Oh, it's the double dragon. Okay. Yeah. Lisa, she's double dragon, right? But let's just like... Yeah, we'll just do the double dragon combo with her. That's great. Alright, we're gonna finish this character. 2 action cooldown. I think I have enough that I can just... Okay, so it definitely is gated. Like, those 2 actions don't allow the uppercut anyway, it seems. So, I think it's just that I have to do, like, I can now do it, I bet. It's just you some of them, the special ones, I guess, don't turn on the way that the jabs will just turn back on. You can, like, left, right, jab forever, I guess. Oh, what am I doing? Only 1 action point. It's just like... Yeah. Ah. I enjoy Lisa's fighting style. It's a sort of straight ahead 1, 2, and then uppercut thing. It's pretty great. Okay, I gotta figure out how to put this move to use. Extortion. Quartz. Is that like a slang for watches? I don't know. Oh, so this one, maybe I'm just... Is a grudge match? Is that the thing where maybe I'm just required to be Brad for this one? Okay. Well, yeah, we can just kind of hit him with... It costs the FP to try the big move even if you get countered. That's like, sort of a big deal. It makes it really risky to try the big move unless you really know you're gonna get it. We shouldn't do strikes on this character. We should figure out... Yeah, the starter attack, but then, you know... You need a lot of FP to do a grapple. That's kind of the issue with Brad. Okay. Like, even 42 is not enough to enable... Okay, there you go. Sometimes he doesn't counter it, that's just the thing. 47, the ideal is... Oh, I guess that's good enough. Okay, we'll break this. I need the chicken though. Uppercut. Yeah, this person we can kind of strike a bit. But this, we are a grappler. Alright. Not a lot of FP. we'll need to strike this person because they're countering a lot. The best thing to do is to try to get into that uppercut, but we need a 6-hit. This, unlike Bruce, who can do really, really cheap attacks to get ready, this guy is more of a like lumbering oaf, frankly. Yeah, we're just gonna take our damage. 49 is all. It's kind of still not enough, is it? Okay, just enough. Good. We need 48 to actually do our uppercut combo, and from here we can just smack him. Ooh, lead. Okay. Oh, apples. Alright, CT Punk. Trap Headbutt. Brutal ATK can cause bleed, and we want you to combine it with Knuckle Arrow. That means a minimum of 35 FP, which we happen to start with, or have at the moment, so we can try it. Oh, no bleed that time. Aw, shit. Don't turn around. Always face your enemy if you're not far away. You know, don't be cowardly. You can't just like float around near them. You kind of have to move with more deliberateness. Can't even Dusty Elbow. Ah, Brad. Okay, but this person wants to grapple anyway. Sure, we'll headbutt again. Yeah. And we can kinda... Oh yeah, good, full. Nice. It is very satisfying when you actually do get your full FP and AP meter, and you can do the just like grapple, head half Nelson thing, and then body slam, you know. I'm all out of Coke. Give me the... Okay, is this where the thing is? Thank you. FP Cola, fine. Yes, these obnoxious people. Yeah, it's like... I guess gentrification is sort of the underlying, the subtext of these scenes. These new people in the neighborhood who are very not attempting to blend in with the local culture. And it's heightened here to kind of a fever pitch. But you know, this character is very much doing a respectability politic, trade stocks. You know, I made more money than you'll earn. I make more than you will in a whole year, sort of thing. It's like a common like sort of brag from a hip hop battle. Oh, haha. Well, there you go. Alright. So we just gotta... This person's got all about the little starters. Yeah, because that's really good. And then... start combat with it. Okay, we'll just hit her a bunch. That raises your accuracy. So like, this is the one, the finisher that needs the accuracy. But if you have all those bonuses, you can just use it at will almost, maybe. I don't want to fight you, man. We gotta kill this healer. Wing strike, yeah, we'll just kinda damage strategy. Then counter, then oh. Strike. Okay, this person. Ah. Cheering. Shit. Alright. Oh, there's another cheerer over there. Well, I'm gonna kill every John anyway. Seems like we're getting close. That should give me a good combo. And then the high price kick seems doable. Ah! Miss. Oh. My hit points. Bruce can't take it very much of a beating, of course. He's sensitive. It's all offense. Glass cannon type person. Ah, this person, Dan. It's insulting to even have to fight this person. It's gonna... The kick doesn't do enough. There you go. But sort of struggling to generate enough FP to really start landing things. Like, it's fine to do that stuff, but you don't get very much FP out of it. I guess it's really, yeah, it's really important to land that combo, because that gives you the space you need to generate all this FP. This character's dead already, but I could have really walloped them, and let's just overkill that hipster, I guess. I have complicated feelings about gentrification and stuff like that. I don't know. Okay, yeah. Expose. What I think about gentrification, I guess, is that there are lots of kinds of newcomers to communities that are good. Definitely not these people. But a lot of the things proposed to fight gentrification have a tendency to just prevent all influx, or really to just advantage the existent sort of, sometimes renters, but often almost by extension, like the, whoever has the property, whoever holds it. It's just making more kind of property, so that somebody who was there now has this like thing that they can never really separate from, I guess. It's maybe, you still want to preserve situations where like it's possible for somebody to come from somewhere else who's like of the same socioeconomic status of the neighborhood and kind of find a place to live, Plexus punch. think the best way to fight gentrification is to basically just reduce the advantages of the people who own the property in that area. In any way, almost. Like, certainly the, rent-free stuff is one way. Damn. Dead. Bruce. Okay. Can't get, like, in between these people. They'll just nuke my health bar. I think investment in public housing is a great idea. Great way to counter the sorts of displacement that we're seeing. But the reason to do the socialized housing has a lot to do with the government's superior advantages around like things like zoning, almost, right? Like having the ability to kind of dictate what happens with a large area of land is one of the ways that social housing kind of outstrips the piecemeal, very commercial property holding, speculation-oriented nature of like real estate, Ooh, walk. Yeah. But it also raises this question of the piecemeal speculative nature of all of the commercial shit that these governments love to allow is a condition of things like basically kind of rigging it all with zoning politics, designating large swaths of territory as simply never going to be usable for rental housing because you can't build an apartment on them, right? You can't build something that is practical. You can only build like a house that's very expensive. This is like a deliberate strategy that the people with the houses will employ. They kind of intend often racistly to keep out, like literally they just want to keep out people coming to the city who sort of deserve to be in the city, In Vancouver, that was Chinese immigrants. That was black people in Hogan's Alley. And that's the kind of thing where like the zoning stuff is not greedy developers. The zoning stuff, a lot of those really racist redlining policies and stuff like that are property owners, homeowners, people who consider themselves to be, in some cases these are people who consider themselves to be the original residents of some place that is, they complain of its gentrification. Towers are going up, they say, that the place is being ruined. Our home is being destroyed, they say. But you always kind of have to ask this weird question about you know, when they came there if you came 20 years ago to that neighborhood, are you resident to that neighborhood? How long do you have to have been there? 30 years? Like, the thing about I was here first is generally not a very good way to kind of establish someone's, like, legitimacy to live in a neighborhood or something like that, you know? It's a little bit more important, like, their background, like the socioeconomics, right? Like, when a rich person moves to a poor neighborhood and makes some deliberate attempt to oust people, which has happened in Vancouver a lot, that is not exactly about damn it. Okay, I need to use some healing items? No, I'm at full health. Can I just not be Bruce for this fight, maybe? That might be the way to handle this. Man. Like, all he can really do are these, like, little wing punches. I guess if I herd them together, you know, I can, like, try these low kicks. Counters would be good. But okay. He struggles so much to generate a good amount of FP. And sort of having difficulty with that part of it right now, you know. I can get those wing punches and combo them and keep hitting her. I can try this plexus thing. Oh, okay. There's a knockdown, that's good. So the knockdown, but even after the knockdown, okay. Maybe I can just keep... Okay, right, expose. Does expose... What does expose let me do, anyway? Does it allow me to do the status effect thing more? Well, I think I'm gonna win it this time. Now that I'm not rambling. So shit, I don't even really have any business rambling about, to be honest. But I am a rambler at heart. Neighborhoods, I think the politics around neighborhoods should simply be about the fair use of all of the land that is around the neighborhood. And that means a lot of things. It means if you have a place that for political reasons is just required to be $2 million houses, like in Vancouver, we really have to look at that as an important injustice. Something that is like a high priority to fix, because if we took those lots and turned more of them into apartments or other types of higher density housing, they would go from 2 million, like if you split it in 4, now they're only 500,000. If you split it into 8, now it's like, you know, 50,000, I think. Don't check my math on that. It's not right, but like, the point is, the more units you split it into, the cheaper the value of each one sort of is. And then you don't even need to do the fucking property buying thing with it. Like, the principle still holds if you just build that, but make it rental, you know. The rental housing can be cheaper because the density is higher. It's also more sustainable for the environment. These are the kind of things that I think about when I think about, like, what's going wrong with neighborhoods. It's important to really focus on, like, what could we be doing right now? Because social housing is a massive undertaking. But certain things, if we just punched hard enough at certain actual decision makers who exist today, we could crumple them and, like, change the zoning stuff. Like, we could rezone the whole city so that apartments, instead of us, you know, ending up with these, like, X amount, 400 or whatever new apartments every year. What if we just made it 6 times higher, you know? Like, there's really no reason not to do that, I think. The arguments about neighborhood character, like, I don't know, it's ridiculous. The city has to change. We have to try to mitigate climate breakdown. I think when you talk about gentrifying, it's a question about how do we bring people with less economic ability into that, like the whole sustainability climate thing. They can't afford necessarily to, I mean, well, no, they definitely can't afford to just put a new, like, super efficient heater in their house and, like, retrofit all of their stuff. There are programs you can do that pay for that for them, sort of. And then the cities like my city, New Westminster, can reach out to people and try to convince them to take them up on these offers. So they try and slowly, anyone who owns a house, and sometimes that's people who own one from back in the day, you know, people who are not wealthy but have these houses and they're dependent on oil for heating and stuff. There are ways to try to basically pay them to upgrade it. And that's the kind of thing that I think is good, but also can be a bit of a half measure. Sorry, I'm just thinking, and now I'm reading this dialogue box over and over again. For people who live in houses that, you know, are in the middle of town and we would like there to be more apartments, the value of those houses, like when somebody buys them to turn it into an apartment, goes very, very high. It gets much, much higher because of the fact that the apartment is going to generate so much more revenue. So, like, you get a really good deal. Like, if you're a person who had this house from back in the day, maybe you're impoverished, but you have this house. Ideally, like, it's important. It's a matter of justice, not necessarily to keep them forever on this, like, single-family home lot that maybe we need, but to ensure that the deal they get is fair for it, so that it is bought at, like, you know, a way where they're not swindled, where they can just use the, you know, in Vancouver you can make $5 million that way. Make sure that can get them into one of the apartments that will exist, you know, that kind of thing. There are ways to do that well. There are ways to do it nightmarishly poorly. This is one of the problems with politics, right? Like, Robert Moses did this horribly. He would deliberately relocate people. He was spiteful about having to relocate the people that he was ejecting from their homes in order to build highways. So he would send people, like, all across town. He would send them, like, old elderly folks who don't really it's difficult, you know. They have a routine that works for them, and they need to stick to it because they don't have as much ability anymore. And so you just like, the city said, well, you can't just kick them out on the street to build a highway. You have to move them to an apartment. So he would deliberately like delay and make it really hard to do, and make the lineups terrible, and like put people in neighborhoods where they didn't know anyone, and it would make them really depressed. And the apartments they moved to were not as good as the ones they were moving out of. They were not treated justly, right? Firstly, it was wrong to do that to build a highway. Like, it was wrong to remove dense housing for a highway, or any housing for it was wrong to build a highway. But secondly, it's when you shortchange people who were there, that's like a real shitty thing to do. You should treat those people generously. The government should really make sure that that happens. Alert campaign. Oh. Tutu wearing ballerina. Ooh, gonna pirouette her foot up his ass. Oh, Brad. So naive. Oh, Brad was a wrestler, of course. Alright, we gotta fight. Ooh, I see why Bruce was so horrified. Oh boy. Alright, I need to generate some FP. I need to make sure that I keep hitting. Oh shit. That sucks. She hits really hard. Maybe the plexus punch? Oh fuck. Ooh, this is gonna be hard. Okay, the wing strikes will give me some FP, but not enough FP, right? Like, oh great, okay. The expose will at least allow me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe the low kick. Yeah, it allows me to make her slower. So that means I can try the. Yeah, okay. The low kick can also knock her over. Oh, I still can't get it. I want that high price kick. Alright, good. Oh, this leveling up. Of course. Well, it's great. Yeah, that was a good fight. I'm really starting to get into how to do this game. Alright, you know, beat the shit out of some more people. Winners don't mash buttons. You know, there's another kind of reference dating to that arcade era. Winners don't use drugs is what that's parodying. There's a lot of these Frank Zappa-like close approximation pop culture references that are sort of sardonic and often kind of kicking up at some bullshit thing, you know? Can I break this box? Ah. Alright, well, lower East Fulton. Oh, it's Switch fighters to share the health pool. That's cool. Okay. Okay, CT Punk is a problem for her. She's gonna be stronger against John. Shit. Should have saved one for the counter. That was a move. Oh, damn it. This is not good. Okay. Higher damage. Okay, accuracy, right? And then I can try to do the counter. Good. Ooh, big FP boost. Okay, this is the time to finish this guy. Shit. Oh, come on. I haven't even used it yet. Have I? Well, he's a bit lower on health. We'll try. The delay in accumulating FP is a little bit grating. It's like I have to wait for the right moment to do the next combo, but I'm sort of left in this uncertain place about it. Oh god. I'm just gonna try it. Uppercut. There you go. Wanted, didn't have enough FP to preface it with one of those introductory attacks. Okay, she's got a little bit of grapple, It's a little bit like, she's never really going to be able to grapple too great, I don't think. But maybe just... Counters are good, yeah. That's good. Kane told me not to rely on garbage cans, but I already wasn't relying on garbage cans. This is gonna be an asshole cyclist. Looks that way. Again, real weird feelings about the asshole cyclist thing for me. Oh, and we can break his bike? Well, we're playing a role. Out of control, what you playing alone? You think you can go to the 18th floor? Look out the way the championship. Started going alone, you won't want it. Dying young won't change your mind. Baby, 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 right on time. Mr. Koenig from Vampire Weekend is like an old money character within the context of his, public face. One of these like New York rich people or something. That Neo Yokio show addresses these ideas a little bit more directly than like the Vampire Weekend music does. It's one of those things, right? Old money, like they're definitely not gentrifiers. They've always been there. They're like vampires. So like, what's up with them? It's another kind of justice issue, right? They maybe just shouldn't have, like, I don't know. I don't know what to say about New York City and these immensely valuable living spaces and the extreme expense of housing and how to deal with it. think like some kind of, you know, progressive like justice type measures are almost certainly a good idea, right? Like you gotta like start skimming that money out of whatever is happening at the top, real estate, whatever the fuck, and try to figure out how to use it to help people who are not winning the game currently. Okay. I'm waiting for her FP, but her FP's not going anywhere. Damn. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit everybody. Oh shit. I need more FP. Jesus. This is the problem. Chance to cause slow. Is it worth it though? Like, this seems like maybe I should grapple this character. A little bit late now. I think I might have to just retry this fight. Man. Posers bar. Oh, this is like a different environment. Maybe they're randomly selected. And, you know, one thing that's of course important to note as I'm like spewing my bullshit about housing politics. So like the caricatures we're seeing in this fiction are not necessarily representative of what any person thinks. It's not directly that like, oh, politics are bad or games bad. It's like a send up. It's pastiche, you know. It's more like what we're seeing these common ideas from society sort of materialize in the form of these beatdown characters. Okay, you, let's try a grapple. Alright, that's a little bit better. But for you, I think strikes? Leg stuff? Yeah, sure. Grapple. See, it's just such a... The problem is that her FP won't work for the grappling. I guess you can mix strikes and grapples, which is interesting. Alright. I maybe have enough to do an uppercut. Is it gonna get him? Is it the right play? I don't think it is. I think it's probably better to save that one. And now, maybe. Damn it. Well, I can do a big ol'... Ah! Right. Gotta remember to try grapples on this guy. Well, he's gone now. Okay. Let's, quite understand how the cooldowns work, because did I use uppercut? Alright. I feel like I never use uppercut, it's always too expensive. Maybe I spend it and then it got countered. But it still counted as spent. Oh, crud. Oh, okay, this is getting a little dangerous. I need to finish this person. Ah. Okay, they're very sneaky, maybe. Maybe this is a sneaker, and it's better to try... Ah. always countering. I don't know. I still don't really know what type. Was that a sneaker? Like, it seemed really hard to grapple. I wish there was like something. I might go into this building and like have something happen, you know? Okay. I guess like sometimes you're action point rich, but at P4, maybe that's what the simple strikes are for. Maybe they can farm. Like we're gonna have a little bit of action point after doing that combo, I think. Oh. Shit. Okay. Yeah. Right, so you get a bit of FP when you do the hits. I don't quite get what combo mode is. Like, I guess maybe just things go up a little faster. Oh god, will she just count on my grapple? Maybe. And then they don't, but then it's like, okay, I guess that's what the count is for. After I've done a grapple, even if I don't get to continue the combo, there's this like kind of fairness to it that if I keep my meter up, I can probably counter their next attack and not get punished. Although man, I got 1 hit point right now. What's the least counterable thing that I can possibly do? Just jabs. Okay. Whoa. 1 HP. I'll like spend. Okay, this time I've correctly gone to the item menu, and I don't have to eat chicken. I can eat an apple, an orange. Nice. Sticky bandage. Cool. Yeah. Oh. Clinch. Okay. The quarter water baby. Oh, it's a Lisa thing. It's like I picked these other characters, but then this kind of jumps me into one. I don't know, everybody's mad at Lisa. Terrorist groups putting lead in baby food. You know, her surprise face is less horrific, of course, than the bad characters. Oh yeah, Obama was kidnapped by ninjas. Oh, but he was down the street getting shaved ice at a truck? For ice cream? Oh. Ices, I don't know what that is. Oh god, yeah, here's that logic. You didn't see it yourself. This is how R. Kelly got off, you know? Yeah, there's a recording of him doing a terrible thing, but like, did you see it yourself? And like, several people did, and they said so. Well, Okay. Let's say these here. Oof. Okay, right, but it kind of doesn't last very long, and then I need to... Basically, let's do the... I can't cringe punch yet. Just gotta like, okay, I have a little bit. I can try to bleed. No, it didn't work. But I can counter again. Eat. Eating that chicken in the middle of combat. No, I could just do jabs. Jab, jab. Leg bruiser. Oh, slow. That's not bad. Oh, fuck. Okay, but I got lots of health. I think Lisa's gonna be okay. Ooh. Very hardy though. Jeez. I'm exposed. Alright, I gotta finish her. Okay. Rib crusher. Oh yeah, expose. More damage. Okay. Alright, well. I need to go and eat something. I like this game. I hope that you like it too. Look if you bought it. Sean Alexander Allen would be appreciative. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a good time with it. I'm into it. I like its politics. There's a sharpness to it that you don't find in sort of more mainstream video game products. You know, the usual shit. This is a bit more like a countercultural, like a more legitimate counterculture thing. And I'm into that, you know. Anyway, have a good night, my friend.